recoveryradio.fm, on WBDR, Lentana, West Palm Beach, Lake Worth, Boca Raton, Delray, and all of the Palm Beaches. Always raw, always real.
Recovery Radio Raw is a registered trademark of the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Any unauthorized use of Recovery Radio Raw and its entities, well, that's strictly prohibited.
Recovery Radio Raw. Not your ordinary 12-step recovery radio show. We tell it like it is. No holds barred, 12-step recovery, solution style. Where we are not afraid to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth when we share our experience, strength, and hope. Now, join your host, Indian Bob, and his guests getting edgy to the down and dirty of the raw, the real, the recovery. 12-stepping it recovery solution style. Right now, it's R to the third power. It's your triple R. Indian Bob's Recovery Radio Raw, baby.
Alrighty, welcome aboard to Recovery Radio Raw. I am your host, Indian Bob, and we are a 12-step talk radio show. We discuss the 12-step solution to addictions of all types, such as booze, drugs, gambling, sex, food, and many other addictions and disorders, and the co-occurring mental health issues that go along with them. And the reason I'm laughing is because we just had a reoccurring mental health issue enter the studio. and it's Higgy from Redemption Road.
That's awesome.
Oh, man. Redemption Road, buddy. What's going on? You're up behind me, and I'm a little scared now. Yeah. So, anyway, welcome aboard, everybody, on recoveryradio.fm, our live Facebook feed. Those of you listening to us on 97.5 FM, 96.1 FM, 1340 AM here in the Palm Beaches. And we've got quite the little crew in here. We've got Higgy pop by with drinks for everybody. And listen to the pops of the cans. It's okay. Go ahead, pop them, have some fun with it. My guests... You know, what are those? Hold on for a second. I want to see that because somebody else had one. And
I want to know how much sugar's in it.
Yeah, do me a favor. Take a picture of that and send it to me because I wanted to try one. So monsters all around from Mean Bean to, Diet Blue or something. And then Higgy's got a fruit punchy kind of thing. My guests this evening are Dr. Cali and her husband, Tim Estes. Is that the right way? Estes?
Estes. Yeah.
Yeah, with a cowboy fan.
Yes, sir.
And we've got the NFC East in here. Sans the Redskins. So
they don't matter.
Yeah, no, they really don't. I mean, the fact that they took the division, was it last year or the year before? I'm going, holy cow. You know the NFC East is doing very bad when the Redskins take the division.
That is true.
Because you're lucky to even see them on the football field. Anyway, welcome aboard, Dr. Cali and Tim. Now, Tim, Crowfly is the name of your band. Are you the owner of the band, or all of you guys are kind of in cahoots with it?
Actually it's a four-part thing.
Okay.
We're all equal. Brandon and Dave started it, and me and Danny joined in.
Nice. Okay. And you're a drummer.
I am.
Actually, we're supposed to use the word percussionist if
okay.
we want to be professional.
Okay.
But
That's
I always say I'm a drummer. You
right.
know, and people go, well, you can tell a real musician if they say
percussion.
Yes.
Okay.
And Dr. Cali is, how do I describe you? Because
I can help.
Multifaceted.
Higgy, we weren't talking to you.
Multifaceted.
That was a rhetorical question.
I like that word, multifaceted.
I like his shirt. Addicts' Lives Matter. Yeah, and I wanted you to pick the topic because I said when it came down to you, there's so many topics that you could literally just run with. And you texted me back, I think it was yesterday, and you said, I still haven't come up with a topic. I still don't know what the topic is going to be. And then I said, well, what about talking about your academy and training people to be recovery coaches and the like, and you do intervention training and all the rest, right?
Exactly.
Which I want to talk about interventions first, because there are a lot of people who pretend to be an interventionist, and they don't know anything about family assessment, the different modalities, and the things that go along with that. So I'm assuming that that's part of what you do, right?
Correct.
Okay. So how does one start that process when it comes to going to school with you?
Okay. Ours is different. And what had happened was, I've been doing this 21 years, and the one thing I've noticed is that the interventions take a long time. Generally, you have the meeting with the family. It's 2 or 3 hours. You have dinner. Then you meet with the addict, and it may or may not work. You spend the night, and then you're on to Sunday, maybe Monday. We have too many heroin shooters to have 4 days to have an intervention. So I started streamlining that model about 6 years ago. And I kept saying, how can I streamline this and make it quicker? So our model is very simple. You do all the background work before you go. When you meet the family, it's only 1 hour instead of multiple hours. You don't let the family dynamics get in the way. We also position the family a certain way around the table that psychologically makes things happen quicker.
I like that. No, keep going, because I'm nodding my head because I think I'm doing your thing without having done it.
I've learned a lot of 12-steppers that love 12-step have been doing this for years as 12-step calls.
Right.
And then there's certain things we do psychologically. Like when you walk in the room, there'll be a big contractor's trash bag of your stuff and an empty suitcase.
Right.
And I'm going to give you a choice. Pick one. So the family's not throwing you out now. They're giving you a choice, which is a lot different. We have them change the locks. We have them shut the phone off in the intervention. So it's a lot more powerful when you have, a 25 or 30-year-old who's dependent on someone else, and you shut their phone off, you got them. So there's things like that we do.
Well, you know something's coming is really it.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So it's a little bit different. And then it's a 2 or 3 day immersion class where you're on the web. It's all live, virtual classroom. And then we do 10 weeks of supervision. We're one of 2 companies that does that supervision.
Okay, cool.
We want you to do the interventions.
Absolutely. And you want to be present, because a lot of times first time out, you got to be really careful, especially with the family situation. Now, I usually talk to them over the phone. I do the family assessment. I find out what the behaviors are and what's the impact on the family. I also do, I have an impact letter packet. And what I do is I email that to them, and then they write the letters and they send them back to me, and I make my corrections.
There you go. We teach that.
So, yeah,
yes,
do you?
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, cool. I might want to go over and just, it's all online,
you should jump
right?
in and then let me teach you to teach it. Because I don't have a backup
Yeah, I think
teacher.
that's, really?
I don't.
No, I'd be happy to, because here's the thing, is like you said, with all of the epidemic proportions going across this country, I want to stop talking about the heroin epidemic and start talking about the overdose epidemic, especially with carfentanil and fentanyl. So, getting people trained to do the right thing, I'd be happy to do that.
I would
Absolutely.
love that. That'd be fantastic.
Because it sounds just like what I do. And as soon as I said impact letter, your eyeballs went like this, and I said, okay, great.
Nobody does that.
I know.
They wait till they get there, and I say, why? Because it starts off great, and then it turns to the anger.
Listen, just like 12-step recovery, when it first came about, they knew that they had to get a hold of people right off the bat. You cannot let them linger with the thought of whether they're going to get clean or not.
Yeah.
And there was a case of urgency, and even the literature states that, it says, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start, and the bottom line is when it comes to an intervention, you want to hit and run, for lack of a better description, but you've already put all your ducks in a row prior to showing up at that door.
Correct.
And you guarantee pretty much almost that person's going to go. And I haven't done the trash bag in the suitcase. So
Powerful.
So what happens? Tell me. That's got to be cool.
So when the person comes in, you have this big trash bag of their stuff, and you have an empty suitcase. So as you're going through the intervention, you say, I have a choice for you today. If you'd like to be homeless, there's the trash bag, there's your stuff, there's the door.
Right.
Or if you'd like to be civilized and put your things in a suitcase, I'd be more than happy to take you with me to this specific center and you sign the paperwork. What would you like to do today? Instead of saying, will you accept this help?
Right.
I say, what would you like to do?
you're kind of like me. I have two hands. This is how I taught my kids. I have 9 of them, by the way, 4 girls and 5 boys. I put up my hands. Okay, what's so funny about that?
That's a lot of kids.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Listen, every time I go to Costco or Publix, I'm aware of it.
That's not what I mean.
And schools,
9 kids.
You still have hair that's not falling out. How do you have 9 hands? And how?
Have you ever seen a bald Indian?
No. No.
Exactly. So we don't have any hair anywhere else, but we keep it on our heads. I guess that's what saves us. But I have 2 hands. One's the spanking hand. One's the tickle monster. Okay. So if they aren't doing what I asked them to, like clean up their room, I like their stuff done. I allow them to make that choice. It's the garbage bag or the luggage, but it's the tickle monster or the spanking hand. Which one do you choose in that moment? And they always pick the tickle monster. And I go, okay, then do what I asked you to. I do not give them the tickle monster right off the bat. Okay, I wait until they're unaware. I might be tucking them in. They might be listening to SpongeBob SquarePants, which I don't get. And then the tickle monster attacks. So they know that they've made the right choice and they become responsible for their choices. I don't believe kids should have a choice except in disciplinary scenarios. And that's what an intervention is. It's time to own up to all the consequences. You're stealing from the family, you're causing emotional chaos, you're punching holes in the wall, and the family's done. And I always make that very clear. As soon as I sit down, you're here because they are done. And then they will read their letter. It takes about 15 minutes because I've shortened it to a couple of sentences. No emotion involved, straight facts. Boom, boom, boom. Some of them email me back and they go, well, I had a whole page. I have 2 sentences. And I said, that's all you need to say.
I had one where I'd shortened the whole thing and it said, Dear so-and-so, I love you, love Dad. That was the whole letter. And he had this book. And I said, that's all you're going to say. And he goes, well, where's the rest of my stuff? I said, it's not relevant. That's all you're allowed to say.
That gives ammunition. We know how to play on that. Those of us who are addicts. Are you in recovery at all?
I am. My primary drug of choice was food. My secondary was diet pills because back in the day, I didn't fit the DSM for an eating disorder. So they sent me to the fat doctor who put me on fen-phen. Here you go. And I went from 140 pounds to 90 pounds, and now I'm addicted to fen-phen and speed. And they go, oh, well, now you're an addict. We got to stop that. Well,
and then you go back to eating.
Exactly. It was a mess.
Right.
It was a mess.
Yeah, it's like, that's the yo-yo syndrome, I call it. It's just that you bounce from one to the other. And it's the same thing with people who have eating disorders and a secondary disease of drugs or booze. And they can't live without one or the other. So same situation pretty much.
Yeah, and I got sober on a yoga mat because I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I would get off the speed and then I would go to the refrigerator and then I was stuffing. And then I'd get off of that and go, well, I have to have something. I have to have something.
Right.
And then eventually I had a yoga teacher who said, you don't have to have anything. You need to learn to be okay on the inside. And I was like, what?
You have to look back at our videos. I think 2 Fridays ago, I did a meditation music show, and I was playing the crystal singing bowls. I also had my Indian flute. My son was playing the drums, and Joey, my house manager, was playing the gong.
Cool.
So, but we did a live meditation thing, and I just did a drum circle at the treatment center on Monday, and it was the greatest time they ever had. So I always tell people that there's always a holistic way to feel better rather than substances. And I like Snickers ice cream cones. I had an issue with those when I first got clean. It was like, a whole box every night. Yeah, and a case of Coke every other day.
Dunkin' Donuts for me.
Yeah, see,
We're going to talk about that.
Oh, man, have you tried the new s'mores donuts?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can tell. Now, I'll be 57. You can hit me? Trust me, right?
You can hit me, but I won't.
No, I'm afraid something's coming up.
So I'm going to plug this now that you're sitting next to me. Saturday and Sunday, we're doing nutrition in recovery class.
Really?
Yes. We have a fitness in recovery and a nutrition in recovery. So Jenny Fontana is teaching this weekend. She's a certified nutritionist. And Boris Shack out of L.A., the celebrity trainer, teaches the fitness in recovery.
Boris is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and when is this weekend?
Saturday and Sunday.
Where?
We do all virtual classes. You log on, you see the instructor. 10 to 3 East Coast
How do they
time.
get it?
Call me or go to theaddictionsacademy.com and register.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
I like to see Higgy in that class on Saturday and Sunday.
And I think he
I'll
probably
be in
needs it.
Chicago.
You know, oh, that's right. You're leaving.
I'll record it for you.
Thank you. I would love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Because I'm actually doing Higgy's show Monday night.
Oh, cool.
So I'm gonna do my show, and then I'm gonna hang out, and I've been honored to.
I cannot wait. I made a promo video for that today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just to give people heads up. So
Well, yeah, no, it's cool, man. I actually gave you kudos before the show started. I said, it's amazing how well he's doing with it. He really adapted, and it's a great show.
Thank you.
I mean, it really
appreciate
is. You're picking great music. You brought in Crowfly. I mean, you're doing
amazing guests, right?
right. You're doing some amazing things, and all you had to do was follow one piece of advice. What was it?
Be myself.
That's it.
There you go.
Because people love you exactly the way you are. And the best thing that can happen to you is to be you, and the worst thing is to start pretending that you're not you anymore, and then you'll be surprised how quickly people start to go.
That's happened over and over in my life
Yeah, well,
throughout my addiction.
I think that a lot has changed for you this time around, Higgy. I really do.
Thank you very much.
I see it in your whole appearance, but I also feel it. And that's the important part, because when you're talking into the microphone, you're describing the music, and you're hanging out with people, the sincerity is there, your heart is in it, and that's the most important quality you got to have, is that heart, and that'll maintain your recovery forever, And I didn't have that when I first got in. I now say I'm a sociopath who likes people. That being said, so this course is this weekend.
This weekend.
And it's addictionsacademy.com?
The Addictions
The
Academy,
Addictions
which is
Academy.
plural.
Okay.
Our competitor is singular, so we're side by side. But the Addictions Academy has it. Or you can go to the Addictions Coach, click on classes,
Right.
it's there. Or give us a call, 800-706-0318. Stevens will answer the phone. And we can register you for the class. We have 40 classes and 20 teachers. We're in 22 countries. We're the largest global addiction online company.
Yeah, I looked at some of the videos that you had posted and everything, and I'm like, God, it's so much.
My goal was to create an army and affordable classes for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I went to school, it's expensive. It just is.
Yeah.
And some people can't afford it. And I want to have people that can work across the world and help each other. So that was my goal.
And it's a beautiful thing. Bottom line, because just like my mission statement on my website, it's to carry the message of 12-step recovery to as many people as possible. That means for me, the world. Mm-hmm. Same. And you've obviously accomplished that. So I think that, the more information that's out there, the more people that are going to educate and inform, the better we're going to be when it comes down to addiction. I mean, it's never going to go away, obviously, but maybe we can put a little dent in it. Maybe we can get some people that are qualified who really know how to handle situations. When you talked about the family assessment, I'm going, yeah, nobody does that. No, they're out behind 7-Eleven trying to see if they can just drag somebody into the treatment center. But it's important to, and if you're listening on the radio and you're a family member, one of the vital pieces about intervention is that you don't have to go on and Google. You don't have to call 800 numbers. Interventionists are usually informed of what treatment centers are going to work through that intervention. And I encourage you to get somebody who is a professional, who knows how to handle the family dynamics, and I call it the afflicted and the affected. Mm-hmm. So we have to be able to handle both dynamics and get a solution for your loved one, your child, whoever it happens to be.
Right.
Right?
And interventionists aren't generally tethered to any specific treatment center. So we've worked with everybody.
Right. No, it's the best fit that
That's
you're
the
looking
best.
for.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go around and I train treatment centers. I was just in Kentucky. I trained Landmark Recovery.
Okay.
Hands down, one of the best clinical programs I've ever seen.
Really?
And they have EMDR. I'm going to sound like I'm pitching them here now. But they have EMDR, DBT, and CBT. And they have this thing called brain pain that I've never seen.
yeah.
And I was like, this stuff's amazing.
It's new technology. It's cool as all get out.
And they're in network. And I was like, whoa.
They're
this is
in
so cool.
network?
It's, yes.
With all of that?
Yes. And I
Oh,
was
my
like,
God.
how do I not know about you guys? They were brand new.
Right.
And I was like, this is amazing stuff because I work with clients who are in network and then I work with high profile.
Right.
And my high profile one's in Mexico. It's called Relive. It's for females with trauma.
Booyah.
It's amazing. Debbie works there.
Debbie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Debbie's
so-
my business partner.
Yeah.
Master's degree interventionist.
Debbie Perkins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Debbie was one of my first students. I trained her in the IMAC.
I love her. As a matter of fact, I think Higgy, she said, I know Indian Bob.
Yeah.
I think you hate every time somebody says, I know Indian Bob.
Why would I hate that,
I'm
Bob?
I'm picking on you. I don't know what happened. Oh, my headsets went out. I knew of you prior to you coming back in this time, whether you know it or not. Because people had mentioned your name several times. Well, you were an advocate for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So names get around. People, I guess because I'm media of sorts, people talk to me all the time. And sometimes I don't even want them talking to me. Like I had people going, did you hear this one shut down and this one's going here? And I'm going, yes, I already knew that. Why?
Right.
What do you care? Operate your business.
Right.
This industry is so people that's like incestuous. People get onto the negative and they're like, look what happened to so and so. I'm like, you know what? You need to stay in your own lane. You need to worry about your own stuff.
Drive your own car.
Yeah,
That's
keep your fingers in the window. You know, the bottom line is that one of the things my sponsor told me was what people say or think about me is none of my business.
No, yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. So when it comes to the treatment business, I just don't get it. I don't know. You weren't at the Behavioral Health Network Resources event when the new law was getting ready to I'm on the task force.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in a suit. Nobody recognizes me because I'm always like you. Right. See, Tim and I have a commonality. I love him already.
He doesn't even own a suit.
Really?
That's why I married him. That was my requirement. It was actually on my list. Must not own a suit. He's like, I don't own a suit. I'm like, yes, check.
Yes. Well, I do because sometimes funerals and weddings and that kind of stuff. Well, you know what? I wanted to get married that way. Right? I actually had one of those tux vests with the cutoff sleeves. And I figured I'd be good in that. But the bottom line is when it comes down to the business itself, there are so many things going on. It's like this gossip club and everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else. Why don't you just mind your own? I think at that event I said 80% of you should have raised your hand that are doing the wrong things. You as the CEO may not. But you know that there are people employed by you that are. We do not want to shut anybody down. Here's an 800 number. All you have to do is call that number, and we will help you abide by the laws.
Conform, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Conform to the guidelines.
Compliance.
Compliance, that's the word.
That's it. And yet nobody with the opportunity, I got news for you. It's a big business. And if I was one of the people doing wrong, I'd be like, okay, I need to go over and talk to him afterwards and just do the right thing. It's not that complicated.
You'd be this surprised because we have an ethics course. How many people call me and say, is it okay to get 10% when I put someone in treatment? And I'm like, no, you don't get.
No.
Well, what do you mean? So-and-so gets that. No, not good.
No incentives whatsoever. And I want to make it clear because you said exactly what I tell people. As an interventionist, I am not beholden to any facility whatsoever. I do the assessment. I do the assessment of the individual. I base it on your loved one's needs.
Correct.
And like you just described that facility in Kentucky with all of that, plus being in network, and especially here in Florida, being able to go out of state in network would be a beautiful thing, right, as opposed to keeping them here.
It is. And I tell people, I give them 3 options. And I want you to go online, and I want you to call, and I want you to tour it. Right. I want you as a family to make the decision. I'm not going to make it for you.
Right.
But based upon what you've given me, mental health, addiction, etc., trauma, this would be my recommendation. Here's 3. And I tell them I'm not going to pick it for you because I want you to make that decision.
Oh, yeah, I don't make the decision. I give them the ones that I think are going to fit them, and then they need to do that. Because the bottom line is it's so hard to find a treatment center. That's another reason why having a qualified interventionist is important. Because if you drop in treatment or addiction into Google, I mean, come on, right? There's a ton of them, not to mention fake websites and all the rest of it. And the first thing, and I always tell people this, one dead giveaway is if they ask for your insurance information first, as opposed to anything else. It's time to hang up. I got to say this to Paulie. He says, am I supposed to salute that shirt? Paulie, if the camera wasn't on, I would salute you. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk a little bit more about family assessment, intervention, and how can you become an interventionist. We'll tell you more about that right after this. Don't go away, or I'll come looking for you.
sometimes I write about something that like ain't something I went through, but it's something I seen my people go through, and I felt like they needed some motivation, and it usually ends up going something like this.
My first day without you in my life, things feel strange, a bit deranged, even so. I hope you're doing okay. Take it slow. You just never know. Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
My system's caught in a conniption, stomach and knots, fiending for my medicine, overcoming addiction. The first step's quitting, now the first step's admitting I got a problem, I need help. This is something that I can't beat myself. I almost feel like I can't be cured. Rehab won't take me cause I ain't insured. Laying in the bathtub, shaking like a newborn, searching for the courage it'll take for me to move on. I've been living like this way too long, begging God please bring me home. I stopped before 3 or 4 days, always end up back in the same place. People call me a junkie, dope fiend. How they gonna judge me? They don't even know me. Lights off, wanna be left alone. I'm trying to enjoy the methadone. Put a Jimi Hendrix record on and excuse me while I kiss the sky. Dozed off, woke up, sick in my stomach. Ran to the bathroom, started to vomit. The methadone wall and the withdrawal started. That first day was the hardest.
My first day without you in my life, things feel strange, a bit deranged, even so. I hope you're doing okay. Take it slow. You just never know. Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
Stay strong, endured the rough weather. I ain't fully recovered, but I'm doing much better. I can keep my food down, the shakes are gone. They lowering the doses of methadone. I eat V's and I blow lots of dro. It's like chewing gum when you're trying not to smoke. Keep my mind occupied, calling on nerves, but it's not the same high. And deep inside, I just want one more, but I can't turn back this week for. Now I made it almost a month with just a couple of V's and I blew some blunts, but the weed ain't gonna make me OD. That other was gonna kill me. 6 weeks and everything seems so clear. Before I knew it, time flew and I was clean for a year. Can't believe something that started off socially, something I allowed to almost take over me. Days went by and it was 16 months, and I swear to God I ain't never fell off once. I feel like a brand new guy, and I'm definitely living a brand new life. Some days I still resist the thirst, but none worse than the first.
My first day without you in my life, things feel strange, a bit deranged, even so. I hope you're doing okay. Take it slow. You just never know. Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
2 years and I ain't touched it. Got a lot done. I've been so productive. Rebuilt. I was so constructive. Can't believe I was so self-destructive. Got a good job and I make big bucks. Went to the lot. Got a new pickup. Got a brand new crib and a brand new kid. I think anybody can quit if I did. If you wanna quit, get up, go get it. Walk straight to the toilet. Drop it. Flush it. Fight it. Just resist it. And if this helps, then just keep listening. When it starts slipping, I'll send you another one, Sonny. What's up? We just saved another one. I know it's so hard, like there's no God, but through him you're able to go so far. Hey, I don't wanna sound corny, I'm just like you, either hungry or horny. Seems as though we get hooked so easily. Quitting becomes an impossibility. I ain't saying treat your body like a church, just don't let dope put you in a hearse. The strength's inside you, you just gotta search and know that no day is harder than first.
Without you in my life, things feel strange, a bit deranged, even so. I hope you're doing okay. Take it slow. You just never know. Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
Yo, you just never know. No.
Just never know.
Yo, all my people going through that thing, whatever that thing may be, just know God got his hands on you, and he'll grant you the serenity to change the things you can, and you can change that. Alright, hold me down, I'ma hold you down. One.
Hi, I'm Adam, and my drug of choice was heroin and alcohol. I'm Michael, and I too have struggled with addiction.
I'm Catherine, and I was addicted to alcohol and cocaine, and I lost everything. I now help people struggling with addiction.
So do I.
Me too.
We are the First Step Health Foundation.
Our fully licensed and accredited detox center in Greater Fort Lauderdale, Florida is the first step in your recovery process. If you or a friend or a loved one struggles with addiction, just pick up the phone and call 1-800-EASY-DETOX or visit us at firststep.com.
First Step's highly trained medical and clinical professionals will treat you with respect and dignity while your customized detox stay with us is comfortable and manageable and safe.
Don't wait until you lose your job, or even worse, lose your life. Why wait until you're put in jail, or even until your child dies? Addiction is a disease, and if you've been trying to quit your addiction to drugs or alcohol without any luck, then you need to call 1-800-EASY-DETOX.
We've been where you are.
You can't beat addiction on your own. Even if you've been to rehab before, this time can be different with First Step.
If you have private insurance, your treatment could be covered, and we even verify your insurance at no additional cost.
So make the call now. The call is free. The confidential consultation is free. So please call First Step now and get your life back.
1-800-EASY-DETOX or 800-393-3869.
That's 800-EASY-DETOX or 800-393-3869.
Floridians everywhere are turning into energy experts with new smart tools from FPL. With your online energy dashboard and the new FPL mobile app, you can stay on top of your energy use anytime, anywhere. And with the new projected bill feature, you have time to learn how to save even more. Take the online home energy survey at fpl.com/easy to save, and you could save up to $300 a year.
Hey guys, James Sweezy here, real quick. If you're experiencing daily fatigue or having trouble sleeping, I found a product that was designed to help improve symptoms associated with post-acute withdrawal syndrome. TheLiquidRecovery.com provides supplements designed by people in recovery for people in recovery. The AM formula helps to improve energy and supports natural relief from brain fog. The PM formula helps support natural sleep so you can fall asleep and stay asleep, and it helps reduce feelings of anxiety or irritability. The folks at TheLiquidRecovery.com want to be clear that this product will not get you clean and sober. It's simply another tool for your toolbox to help combat fatigue and sleeplessness. Order now at www.theliquidrecovery.com and be sure to enter the discount code RADIO for free shipping. That's www.theliquidrecovery.com. James Sweezy, I'm out.
Welcome back to Recovery Radio Raw. Give us a call at 844-INDNBOB, 844-463-6262. And now, the voice of recovery, Indian Bob.
Yeah, I got news for you. I ain't the voice of recovery. I'm the voices of recovery. God, and we got a bunch of voices of recovery sitting in here. I want to welcome my guest, Dr. Cali, and her husband, Tim Estes. Yeah, and what's his name, Higgy over there, who joined in, which is really great. And listen, Monday nights you got to tune in over here because Redemption Road Recovery Music is 10 p.m. every Monday night. Higgy is that's his show. Man, and you got music going on. As a matter of fact, Tim and his band Crowfly.
Twice.
Yeah, huh?
We've been on there twice.
Twice.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Well, I got
it's
lucky
the beginning
to see it this time.
of a wonderful relationship.
Yeah. Well, all right. Where's the violins, Herman? That would have been the moment, right?
I love it.
And Matt Wilkoff says this show rocks.
Matt Wilkoff's going to be my guest in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks. The
Really?
Wilkoff Project from West Palm Beach.
Oh, yes. They had invited me to like their stuff over there. As a matter of fact, they sent me a couple of things, and
I dig their music.
Let me tell you something. They got some good stuff. I'm
looking forward to it.
Matt, never mind when Higgy's here. Come this coming Monday night while I'm because I'm going to be. I'm going to be guest hosting.
You can do 2 shows in a row.
Yeah, you can absolutely.
I want to make sure I'm in the studio.
I love the project. Okay, everything they said was absolutely wonderful, and I dig people that are doing music in recovery. It's the most amazing thing. It speaks volumes, and I always say music is the language of the soul, and recovery music certainly speaks to those of us who are in recovery and those who are seeking it. It touches. You can identify. So, Cali, on to interventionists. What about you? Are you actually an interventionist also? I mean, wait a minute, because you have like an encyclopedia of initials after your name, because I can't even keep track of them. So how many initials do you have?
I have a doctorate in clinical psychology and life coaching, and then I have a master's degree in criminal justice and addiction, specific to the criminal justice population. My husband likes to tell people we met in prison, but we didn't meet in prison. He thinks it's funny.
You know what? Because I spent 18 years there. I'm thinking, boy, that would have been nice. Good man.
And then my bachelor's is in psychology with addiction. So I've started off in the addiction specific, and I just keep building on it.
Are you trying to say you're smart?
No, I spent a lot of money on school would be more accurate.
That's it.
Yeah, that's probably a good answer. No, it means you're smart, but you also have some life experience with things, and I think that's where the real key comes in, and particularly as an interventionist and being able to teach people how to do the right things. So you got a great mixture of book smarts, but also life experience, and I think that's the best of it.
And I married an addict in recovery.
You did?
I did. Imagine that.
Wait a minute. You're an addict, Tim? You have got to go.
He's one of us.
No, he's for real. Listen, the first thing I saw the star on his shoulder, I thought, okay, you got to go.
I've been kicked out twice.
Yeah, well, as an addict, I welcome you. Okay. As an addict who's a Cowboy fan, I'm still struggling because I'm a Giants fan.
Wait a minute. What's this no judgment zone? What happened?
Well, this is football we're talking about. I got news for you. I think that, and Tim will probably agree that I think judgment counts in football.
It does.
Absolutely. Your choice of teams certainly needs to be judged, without a doubt. So, and by the way, we last year even with their miracle kid Zach Prescott, everybody thought they were going to go all the way undefeated.
Boom,
and
first game.
The New York Giants first game, second time we played them. Oh, boom, yep, there it went again. 2 wins for the Giants, 0 for Dallas.
I'm a Broncos fan.
Not only that, but listen, for a moment I thought we were going to repeat history, because the last time that we had stopped you from getting the division right off the bat, we went on to the Super Bowl because we met the Packers. Yes, exactly. And I thought, this is it. It's going to be the same thing. It was very short-lived. So you guys did okay, and then
I was actually in Manhattan around all you annoying Giants fans when you won that Super Bowl.
Oh my!
Wait a minute. Giants fans are annoying? I think Pot Kettle. I got news for you, brother. There's no more stuck up annoying fans than
No, you're both wrong. The Eagles fans are the worst fans in the league.
Yeah,
we have a jail in our stadium because we can't behave ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. Not only that, but more often than not, you never see an Eagles fan wearing their jerseys until they beat the Giants, and then all of a sudden they show up with their jerseys on, and they think they accomplished something. But their trophy case is still empty. So
you never see them in late January or early February either.
Really, I know. It's like right after Thanksgiving, they kind of disappear somewhere. Anyway, where were we? Initials, smart, addict, football. Maybe
Music.
I should start a sports show.
There you go.
You could.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah, I think it would be dynamite. Absolutely. We should do a sports show. I think, and all guys, and then we'll get one girl to sit in and complain about how the guys do nothing but watch football, and
I have a bigger complaint. Why don't they have women's outfits? Like the Cowboys have the worst outfits for women. They're not tailored. They don't look great. The Redskins have great outfits for women. That's your team. No, you're Broncos.
Well, I got news for you. Look at the Giants apparel.
How is it?
It's absolutely fantastic when it comes to girls. And I agree with Dallas Cowboys. They've got to cater to the women. I think they don't because they don't want to like outdo their cheerleaders or something. I don't know because, there's a lot of good women out there that are Dallas Cowboy fans. And if they had the right apparel, they'd make big bucks.
Oh, yeah. I'd be shopping.
But, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
You are a girl. So, I'm fortunate with that because mine is not really a shopper. I mean, other than, okay, strike that. Every other day there is a box from Amazon Prime. So,
don't look at me.
Yeah. Oh, you're the guilty one too?
No, we're the only place where there's a traffic jam, and it's UPS and FedEx in front of our house every day.
We literally had that one day. We had USPS, UPS, and FedEx all in front, and I took a photo and sent it to him, and he's like, "That's nice."
Yeah, yeah.
They're all here to see me.
Yeah, it's like, we know who that's for.
Yeah.
But she's big on Amazon Prime, and as a matter of fact, school supplies and everything else, she pretty much did that way. And Christmas, same thing.
Think of all the time she's saving.
Okay, listen, don't co-sign. You're outnumbered right now. There's 3-1.
See, wait a minute. You said judgments don't work in football. Co-signing doesn't work in shopping.
Okay. I give up. It's either surrender or compliance.
Yeah.
And
just like an intervention.
Surrender or compliance. Right. You either take the garbage bag or put it in the suitcase and let's go.
Let's go.
That's
right. Yes.
Speaking of ADD, can I change the topic real quick?
Well, it's like any good meeting. The topic usually does get changed. I don't know why they ask us to pick one. But
Well, since I'm sitting right here, I'd like to ask Dr. Cali Estes about her podcast.
Oh, yes. I've got a podcast starting. It's called Unpause Your Life. And I'm having people on that have done something with their lives, that have changed something. And not only want recognition, but also want to put their message out there, their product, their service, whatever it is.
Okay.
Would you come on my podcast?
Yeah, I was.
Did you grace me with your presence?
I was voted Recovery Advocate of 2016.
Wow.
Did you know that? Yeah, I got an award,
well, congratulations.
All kinds of cool stuff. I would love to. I think that that's a great idea because when I look at people, and Higgy, I'm going to talk about you. Okay, because I've known you for years. I've known your struggles. We talked very early on when you were just getting back in and you had probably 30, 90 days, somewhere in between there. And you started talking to me, and I thought, this guy's looking for it. I mean, like he's really looking for it. And you brought up some things about you, and I could hear the desire to not be that guy anymore.
Absolutely.
And I've watched you grow. So I think that when you talk about polish, somebody like Higgy and any of you, anytime you come into the show, I see this all the time. They celebrated 6 years. They got, they've had 4 attempts and now they got 60 days and nobody's giving them the credit that they deserve because it's a hard road to recovery. It's a hard road to change what's deep within us. And it comes from a lot of different avenues. In our 11th step, it encourages us to look for all of the other outside stuff that can help us. And I think that as we grow, we become polished. Mm-hmm. Now, I have 15 years over, but 15 years. I wait until I get my medallion. And I can tell you I've been polished, and then I've also gotten a little gritty. And life on life's terms is not the way I live. I live life on God's terms. And I think that the more I do that, the more polished I become. But also, when they say I'm the voice of recovery, I always say I'm the voices of recovery because so many people have contributed to who I'm becoming. And it's no different that everybody that you teach, everybody that you send out there, especially in the beginning that are supervised and watched over, and the training continues live, on the OJT. Right? Mm-hmm. That's a vital piece of it. Do you know how many people do not do that? They just give them this certification and then they let them loose. It's crazy.
One of the unique things about what we do, once you pay for the class, you never pay for the same class again. So if Higgy comes back to me and says, I want to take recovery coaching again, he can do it for a lifetime. So anytime he wants to come back.
courses for life.
Yep. Anytime he wants to take anything, if he does a video testimonial, he gets a free class with us.
Nice.
He does a blog, he gets a free class. If he tells 2 people about us and they sign up, he gets a free class. So we're always trying to get people involved.
So I just told, I don't know how many people, because I have a pretty large radio audience. So how many classes do I have? I'm going, wait a minute, I'm counting here.
You've got access to the whole platform, anything you want.
I definitely want to do it because I've heard a lot of great things and I've known people. And then when Higgy told me that you were involved with him or vice versa or both, I thought, that's a really good person to pick. And you wouldn't have made that decision if you weren't in your right state of mind.
Absolutely.
Because the bottom line is people are afraid of people like you, Dr. Cali. I hate to say that they are, because I've seen some stuff, and I wanted to high five you one time. You mentioned something about marijuana for withdrawals, and I was like, yes, right, high five. Listen, it's a lot better than them doing opiates or anything else. Medicinal marijuana has its place. I really believe that. Bottom line is that's going to become a reality. And the regulation behind it has to be looked at and some of those things. But I encourage people for alternatives, because we have so many different drugs that they want to give. And I'm not big on the Suboxone for 6 months to a year. No, it's a great detox drug. Don't get me wrong. Cuts back I'm old school, so I did it the hard way, right? I had to tough through the withdrawals. I mean, we didn't have that kind of stuff back then. But I get being nice to people, but to what extent? And by the way, Blake, you will find that there are bottles right here, all for you, okay? I didn't forget them this time because you texted me, and guess what? I said, okay, and I immediately put them on the front seat of my truck.
You want to show your audience? What you got
yes.
there?
So I have my own line of hot sauces, and this one is called the Indian Bob's Holy Ghost, which
wow.
It looks hot.
Yes, which will pretty much make you say "Holy Ghost." And then I have
once you catch your breath.
Yes, then I have Indian Bob's Fire in your a-hole, which is
that's awesome.
Which is a good one. And then there is Indian Bob's Smoking Ghost.
That's awesome.
So,
wow.
With the cauterizing effect.
Yeah, well, the Smoking Ghost is actually very fruity, and it's a light heat. Relatively light heat. It's all made with ghost peppers. It's actually my own recipes. I cook them. I do all of the stuff, bottle them, everything else. So I pick
You wear a respirator when you cook them?
You have to wear 3 pairs of gloves.
It'll eat your skin off.
And you do have to wear the respirators. However, I do eat the ghost peppers raw.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Whole. Okay? Yes. So, Indian Bob's
That's an acquired skill, right?
No, it's just I've been hot for a long time.
Hence the 9 kids.
Oh, God.
In 3 different countries.
That just means I've been lucky 9 times.
Right?
And that's what, and most people, when they run into me, they go, how are those 12 kids you got? Everybody always gives me more. Not like 9 isn't enough. I mean, hello. Don't hold my hand more than 30 seconds, okay? Because, you never know. And I don't need him coming looking for me. Yeah, he's got dark hair. There's something wrong here. So, when it comes down to it, I want you to give out the information for the course again. We did put the URL into the Facebook feed, but for those that are listening on the radio, maybe they want to redo their brain power a little bit and get it down. Okay, that's good for Facebook.
There you go.
Now say it for radio.
It's theaddictionsacademy.com. Addictions is plural. And you can also go to theaddictionscoach.com. And the number's 800-706-0318. You can get me on Twitter at theaddictionsco, on Instagram at Dr. Cali Estes, on Facebook at Cali Estes, and on LinkedIn at Dr. Cali Estes.
Okay. And I don't do the the Snapchat and Instagram stuff. And everybody keeps telling me I should be doing that.
I don't do the Snapchat. I do the Instagram.
Really? Okay. Because I have LinkedIn and all the rest of it. I have a pretty large deal on LinkedIn, but I just didn't think Instagram and Snapchat were all that.
Instagram, I have a lot of clients that come out of there.
Okay. So it works. Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe I'll do Recovery Radio Raw on Instagram.
Yeah, all right.
No, I should probably just do Indian Bob, not the radio show. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm learning something new. Are you on Instagram?
You are.
I am. I don't.
Right. Okay. Now, see, you guys can see in the camera. The first thing he does is looks over to his wife.
I manage them.
Oh, okay.
I'm both of them. Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
Well, she's always she stays on all four of us band members about keeping up our social media. So that's why I looked at her, because I'm neglecting my.
Well, you have to concentrate on your music. You know?
We do.
I have them doing a contest. There's 4 of them, and the girls love them. So they're each posting a picture of themselves on their Facebook page. And so far, Brandon, the singer, has the most likes and follows, and he's holding up a jar of honey and smoking a stogie at the same time.
Talking about taking care of your voice. It's like going in opposite direction.
So he posts a picture that's all but nude, and so he's got a bunch of girls and people following him, and they're all competing on who's getting more attention. So we're waiting on the bass player to post something next. So they keep it engaged with their.
Now you're actually a friend of mine on my personal Facebook. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the pictures of me on my Facebook?
I have not stalked your Facebook yet.
Okay, well go over and look at it, and because I'm shirtless, and I'll be 57 next month. So Hickey, as a matter of fact, I think you sent a friend request to me.
I did.
Yes. All right. I got to remember to confirm it. You'll be jealous of the 6-pack. Trust me.
Whatever.
I'm just kidding. So, the one thing that I really want to cover on top of this, because along with intervention is the recovery coaching aspect of it is a whole nother deal. And I know that for the most part, it's not just about getting people into recovery. It's more about coaching them through their recovery.
Correct.
And being kind of like a continuum of care.
Correct.
I believe, right?
There's something that's lacking with our current treatment model. So you come out of treatment.
Never mind. I'm going to behave.
Okay, there's a lot of things lacking.
There you go. Thank you.
So one of my solutions to solve this is recovery coaching. It's a lot cheaper.
Right.
And you can have somebody come to you in real time, in real life, and you're not restricted by the therapy rules.
Right.
So as a therapist, when I'm doing therapy, I have to be in a room that's approved.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But as your coach, I can go to the gym with you. If you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're having a meltdown, I can meet you at Starbucks.
Right.
I can meet you at Denny's for breakfast at 5 a.m. and we can have a coaching session. And it's more powerful than therapy's ever been. So it's like a melding of life coaching and addiction together.
Right.
And we're available by text. We're available by email. We're there.
Right.
And we're working with your sponsor. It's not like we're by ourselves.
Right.
So we can work with the sponsor and help you in areas the sponsor can't.
Right. Especially on the mental health aspect or the therapeutic aspect.
Mm-hmm.
There's the recovery aspect I think most of us have. I do have, one of my favorite things is trauma. I really like trauma. I like getting people through it. I do it a lot in a holistic way, whether it's meditation. I do self-hypnosis. I do acupressure. I do a lot of different things that I really think help. But recovery coaching has proven, there's literally proven impacts on continuum of care when people have hired a recovery coach to hang out with them. And that doesn't mean 24/7, but hang on with them to continue their recovery. It definitely gives longevity.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. Any additional help at all once you leave treatment, because that's the biggest problem is, number one, 30 days is not enough. You're not even going to get anywhere near the root causes of anything other than, and their focus in the beginning is just getting them off the substances. And now you're trying to get somebody to comply with groups and therapy and all the rest of it. And it only works if we're 100% honest about what's going on with us. And that's difficult.
And most of the time, people coming into treatment don't feel well for the first 2 weeks anyway, physically.
Yeah.
So by the time you start to physically feel good, you're discharge planning.
Yeah, they're already discharge planning, and it's usually go to a meeting the moment the plane lands. They don't give them a where and when or anything else. They just go to a meeting.
And then the family steps in and goes, when are you going to get a job? When are you going to get an apartment?
Right.
You've been gone for 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the poor person hasn't even had a chance to breathe.
Right.
And that's where we step in and we advocate for the client and
Right.
say, hang on. We're going to do these things first. I actually have a workbook. I got a best-selling workbook that I created. It's got 45 exercises in it, and I bought you a copy for clients to do.
Did you sign it?
I did not sign it yet, but I will.
Well, that's okay. I'll bring you my book next time because you will come back.
Okay.
I wrote a book called The 12 Steps Revealed.
Ah,
Yeah.
What's it about? Tell me about it.
It's about the 12 steps.
Revealed?
And yes.
Oh,
And
wow.
I kind of go figure. Although the subtitle is the 29 most commonly asked questions about addictions. So I literally, it's designed for families and the addict. And I answer those questions, like why can't I just stop?
Yeah.
And I always say stopping isn't our problem.
Mhm.
We can stop. When the wife is getting ready to go out the door, the boss is going to fire us, the judge is getting ready to bang the gavel. We know how to stop.
Mhm.
And once we gather everybody back around and they're loving us because we put together 2 weeks, we start. So starting is our problem. We can't stop starting. So
That's good.
So the book goes into all 29 of those questions. What's the mindset of an addict? And I answer all of those. So it's a very informative book. And there's a website for it, 12 Steps Revealed. It's on Amazon and all the standard, you know. And it's the first in a series, although I am writing a new book. And the second book, it has nothing to do with addiction or recovery.
Uh-oh.
You want to know the title of it?
Uh-oh.
It's called The Booger Book.
The Booger
Oh, my God.
Yes, I'm writing a book about boogers, okay? And it's illustrated and all the rest of it. So I describe different boogers. It's going to be a bestseller. Just trust me. I mean, you're a girl. I mean, guys, I guarantee you, it's coffee table material. Just trust me on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or restroom material.
And yeah, there you go. But people that listen, everybody picks their nose. I don't care who they are. Girls always say, "Well, I never pick my nose. I use a tissue or a Q-tip." And I'm like, yeah. And I'll be at a red light, and the woman with the longest freaking nail, right,
Scratching her brain.
knuckle deep.
Scratching her brain.
And this is what they do. They turn the nail towards them to get a good look at it before they do this out the window, probably hit the guy next to him. And so that's kind of part of what the book is. It describes that booger. And yes, it's the nail digger. And they all have their own names. So how about that? We went off on a wild tangent there. Wow. Holy cow.
We have a book coming out.
Really?
We're not allowed to give the title out yet, but it's Our Life Together.
Oh, boy.
What it's like being a therapist and an addictions person.
Doctor and a drummer.
And being with somebody who relapsed, because he relapsed. And what's it like being in it and doing it?
Wow. And being a doctor at the same time.
Yep. And knowing you can't do it.
And you want to doctor him, too.
Well, but knowing you can't.
No, I know, but that's interesting. That's phenomenal.
So it's all about his life and my life.
No, mostly it's going to be about you and the struggle of wanting to doctor and you know better.
You know better.
And there's got to be some codependency mixed in there.
A little bit. You make a ton of phone calls. Why isn't it taking?
And then the denial. Yeah. And if you try to confront him, he's going to use your brain against you you know everything about this, right? You never did any drugs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be, listen, I could probably help because I already wrote part of it.
There you go.
I think the speculation is easy to go by. I can't wait to hear the name of it.
It's got a really good name.
It does have a good name.
We can't say it yet, but it's got a great name.
Okay, well, maybe you'll come back and we'll talk about the book when you have a name.
Because it's not done yet.
It's
and
not
we don't
done
want
yet.
it stolen.
Okay, and we got music playing, which means we got to get the hell out of here because Blake and Higgy, I guess you're sticking around for Recovery Live, right?
Yes, sir.
And Sweezy's absent tonight, but Recovery Live up next. Thank you all for joining us on recoveryradio.fm, our live Facebook feed. Those of you listening on 97.5 FM, 96.1 FM, 1340 AM here in the Palm Beaches. I'm Indy and Bob. I'm out.